our 14th WiSER Wisdom series on entrepreneurship. Progress is being made for women investors in startup, but more is needed. Today, we gather around the virtual fireside to explore the evolving landscape of entrepreneurship with a particular focus on the experiences and achievements of women investors and founders. As we embark on this enriching conversation, we aim to shed light on the challenges, the opportunities, and transformative impact of women-led startups in the global economy. In recent years, the landscape of venture capital funding has seen a notable shift for women-led startup companies making significant strides in securing investment. While women-founded startups account only for 2% of the VC funding in Europe and the United States in 2023, longer-term data reveals positive trends. Over the past decade, startups founded solely by women have steadily grown their share of VC deals, indicating a promising trajectory of women entrepreneurs. Furthermore, research has highlighted an impressive performance of women-led startups, with data showing that venture perform 63% better for their VC investors compared to their counterparts. This underscores the unique perspective and skills and innovative approaches that women bring to the entrepreneurial table, driving growth and success for the startup ecosystem. We have optimism with a significant increase in the number of startups led by women in the United States. Almost half of the startups formed in 2021 were led by women, marking substantial rise from previous years, signaling a growing momentum towards gender diversity and inclusion. These insights are nuanced. We have both challenges and progress in the realm of women-led startups. As we navigate this dynamic landscape, it's essential to recognize the pivotal role women entrepreneurs are playing in driving innovation, economic growth, and societal change. By supporting and empowering women entrepreneurs, we are fostering a more diverse, resilient, and innovative startup ecosystem. And today, I'm so excited. We'll be discussing the broader landscape of entrepreneurship, insights into women-led companies, and the opportunities for more progress. It is just a great honor to introduce Libby Wayman. Libby is an investor with Breakthrough Energy Ventures, BEV. BEV was founded by Bill Gates back in 2015 and is an investment firm focused on financing, launching, and scaling companies that will eliminate greenhouse gas emissions in the global economy. BEV has raised more than $2 billion and it has invested in more than 100 cutting-edge companies in this space. And Libby was one of the first women investors at BEV. We are so fortunate to have Libby with us today. So let me just begin. Libby, share your story with us at Breakthrough Energy Ventures. You were one of the first women investors in the firm. How did you prepare for this role? Did you have to overcome cultural barriers? We'd love just to hear from you.
Thanks, Deb, and thanks again to Masdar and WiSER for having me on and participating in this great conversation. I'm passionate about supporting early stage technology development and commercialization, particularly to address climate change. And this kind of challenge requires all the bright minds around the world working on the challenge. So we need the full workforce and every bright mind available to solve these problems. Men, women, everybody. So I did have the pleasure and honor of being one of the first women at Breakthrough Energy Ventures, and following in the footsteps of other great trailblazing women. And as I mentioned, I've just been focused on innovation to address climate change throughout my career, and that has been my personal quest. And I think that's really what prepared me for the role, rather than trying to acquire specific skills for a specific role. I started off my career working on technology development in university, and then bringing that out of university into startups, working at technology in large corporations, all with the thought about how you scale technologies to larger and larger stages of commercialization. I then had the opportunity to join the Department of Energy, and then the great honor of working together with our own Deb Frodl at GE. And all of those experiences combined together, I think, is what prepared me for my existing role. With those experiences, I have the perspective of an entrepreneur, of a technologist, of doing business in a large corporation, perspectives on working with the government and understanding government support and resources, and how to bring all of those together to support entrepreneurs and companies in their journey to develop and commercialize technology to address climate change. And so for me, it was not a destination on a map and a certain set of skills that I deliberately acquired, but really following my commitment to developing technology and commercializing technology to address climate change, which was a formative experience for me to join Breakthrough Energy Ventures.
It's wonderful. And you have such a diverse background, Libby. Really an inspiration for sure. And I always feel we need women investors like yourself to see the potential in, women-led companies. Very much. I think it's always important and plays a key role. At Breakthrough, you have actually invested in some women-led companies, and we'd love to hear your insights about, those founders and, their companies. How are they doing? What inspired you to make those investments?
Breakthrough Energy Ventures highly values diversity, both on its team and the kinds of companies that we have working on the challenges to address climate change. And so we actively work on diversity, and we always make investment decisions based on the merits of the investment, which involves the team, it involves the problem, it involves the market. And we have several women-led companies in the portfolio. I'll name a couple just as examples. One is Dandelion Energy, which was founded by Kathy Hanoun, who spun the idea out of Google X. And the company is developing geothermal heating and cooling systems for buildings in residential applications, as well as commercial applications and high volume home builder applications. The company has grown tremendously and has seen a lot of demand, and they've also had to evolve and pivot over the years. And what I love about what Kathy brings to the organization is she's so focused on the merits of geothermal heating and cooling, and she can explain the technology and the merits to anyone and everybody. And she really galvanizes support for the technology and has made it an exciting, kind of desirable technology and product for homeowners and home builders to have. And so it's really that commitment to the technology, the passion for the technology, the focus, her way of thinking about it from a first principles perspective, as well as her ability to communicate it to other people, that I think makes her a really powerful and inspiring leader. And entrepreneurs, it's almost like their number one job is recruiting people, whether it's recruiting customers or employees or capital, and all of those skills that Kathy has come together in her ability to galvanize support for the company and galvanize demand for the product. Mm-hmm. Another company in our portfolio is called Guidewheel. They have a kind of an AI-based manufacturing data technology that helps manufacturers optimize their operations and drive efficiencies through their operations to reduce energy consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, and other resource consumption. The company was founded and led by Lauren Dunford, and I see a lot of similarities between Lauren and Kathy in that they are incredibly energetic, passionate leaders that are excellent at galvanizing support for the product and for demand and for the company. Excellent communicator and very first principles driven, and can understand the merits of the technology and communicate the merits of the solution to customers, investors, and other stakeholders. And those are just a couple of examples. We've got multiple other companies in the portfolio with very inspiring, exciting women leaders. And we hope that that's just the beginning and look forward to investing in many more.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it sounds so much the culture at Bev is very diversity driven and focused, and it's nice to see the support and listen to your stories. Can you discuss, Libby, you shared a bit about these companies, but the opportunities and the challenges of Kathy, and others when you're a woman-led founder, what insights, what lessons learned, are they struggling with or need support or have, really capitalized on the opportunities? I mean, the stats say, securing funding is difficult. So would love just to hear, what some of their challenges and their opportunities are.
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge for women-led startups is understanding that you're not alone. Entrepreneurs struggle constantly, whether you're a female founder, whether you're a male founder, CEO. It is a very tough business. It's an exciting opportunity, exciting role, but it is always a struggle. And so I think the insights and lessons learned that I've observed from really strong female leaders is to not get discouraged by those challenges and not to internalize it as, oh, there's something that I'm doing wrong, or it's, I'm struggling because of X, Y, or Z. It's really just kind of taking those challenges in stride and identifying the best resources to pull around you, including mentors, including people who can help, including team members who may have more expertise and more experience than you, and kind of putting the challenges aside and continuing to work on the opportunity. So that's probably the biggest insight and lesson learned that I've distilled from these really great women leaders, and that I would encourage all of us as women to embody, is to realize that doing something new to the world is not easy. It's challenging for everybody. And we need to focus on the opportunities and keep chipping away at the challenges and not just get discouraged, and pull great resources around us to leverage our own skills beyond what we can do in our own 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, it's great advice, great insight, Libby. And, words to be taken for all of women and just entrepreneurs in general. Libby, what opportunities do you see? Let's just not everybody wants to be a founder in a startup, but they want to be part of the startup. And, how do we get more women to join these organizations? How do they get involved? Are there programs? What have you seen that works really well?
There are so many opportunities to get involved in entrepreneurship and companies in general working to address climate change. One resource that we've established is a jobs board that's on our website, on Breakthrough Energy Ventures website. And that has roles across all of our portfolio companies. And I would say find those resources and network like crazy. Don't be afraid to raise your hand. Don't be afraid to show how passionate you are. Don't be afraid to take a little bit of risk. And if you have great skills and great experience, if something doesn't work out, there will likely be another opportunity. And so I would recommend finding resources and just networking with other folks addressing the challenge, and being very upfront about what you're passionate about and what you're excited about, and lean into those opportunities.
No, that's great advice, and wonderful that you have ongoing potential pipeline with the job board and encouraging people to get engaged in your companies as well. So, Libby, overall, as a leader, in this space, you have a very strong commitment to building the pipeline, in the future. It's your wonderful work as an investor at Bev, but you also spend considerable amount of time, teaching a class at MIT around entrepreneurship. And so would love just to learn more about what are you teaching, who are you inspiring, who attends, and, how does this help the overall ecosystem?
I have the great honor of serving as a lecturer at MIT, where I co-teach a class called MIT Climate and Energy Ventures with 3 other really amazing lecturers and faculty members. And the class basically teaches a curriculum on how to identify technologies and evaluate them and bring them through the entrepreneurial journey. And paired with that curriculum, we also have students identify technologies and business ideas. Many of them are from labs around MIT and Harvard. The class is co-listed with Harvard, and many of them are more business model innovation type of ideas. And the students form teams around those concepts. And as they learn the pieces of the curriculum, they take their concept through those exercises to, for example, to identify the market, to evaluate the technoeconomics, to develop a financial model, to develop a go-to-market plan, all of the things you would need to think through to evaluate and ultimately launch an entrepreneurial venture. And so that's what the class is all about. I teach the class because I'm passionate about making the knowledge available to as many people as possible to address climate change and to start companies that can address climate change. The class is really about education, but we do find that the students, many of them go on to launch the companies that they have kind of workshopped through the class. And many of them also go on to launch different companies, applying the principles that they've learned in the class. And many of them go on to really exciting careers in larger corporations addressing climate change. And my belief is that the knowledge about how to start a company, how to understand venture capital, can be taught and it can be learned, and it should be open and available to as many people as possible. And so we did have the opportunity to expand the class also recently in partnership with several schools in Texas. And we're looking at lots of other opportunities to make the materials available more broadly beyond just MIT and Harvard, because as I mentioned before, we need as many brilliant minds and dedicated entrepreneurs focused on these challenges.
Yeah. Great, wonderful. And it's so nice to see it's cascading, because that's so important. You have such a wonderful model at MIT. You've done just an outstanding job, and it's nice to see other universities embracing it. So Libby, what advice, as we're coming here to closing, what advice would you share with women in the audience considering entrepreneurship?
My biggest advice to women and really to anybody identifying opportunities going forward is about the people that you work with. Find great people that you really want to work with and focus on the challenges that are important to you. And when you have opportunities at universities or in forums like WiSER, really make sure that you form relationships, because those relationships will be what is with you throughout your entire career. And those relationships will create opportunities for you, and they form the basis of really who you are as a professional and who you are as a person. And it's really important to show up as a good and honest and true person in everything that you do, and bring that part of yourself not only to your professional relationships, to your personal relationships, and form really strong bonds and networks, and those will create opportunities for you throughout your career.
Wonderful advice. And you're absolutely right. The network is so important, whether it's entrepreneurship or just throughout your career, nurturing those relationships really allow the growth and progress. So wonderful, wonderful advice. Well, this has been wonderful, and you have shared so many lessons learned, and real opportunities to continue the progress around entrepreneurship more broadly and in support of women. And, I love you've got to be the champion of your company, the passion, a good communicator. You've got to surround yourself with the best team, possible. And it's just so inspiring, when you get to have your job and your passion together. And that's oftentimes what entrepreneurship is. And it's just so wonderful to hear the inspiring stories, opportunities that lie ahead. So thank you so much for your time, Libby, your inspiration. You are a true trailblazer. We're lucky to have you today. So thank you. And I really want to thank the audience for being engaged today. We hope we've given a nugget or two of inspiration to all of you. And I want to thank Masdar WiSER team for hosting this event today. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Deb, and thank you, Masdar WiSER, for having me today. I've also benefited a great deal from wonderful female role models, yourself included, and really appreciate the opportunity to speak with everybody today.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.